In this tutorial, we aim to help you understand two concepts. Firstly, the concept of a customer. What is a customer? When do we call somebody a customer? What's the difference between a client and a customer? And also the second concept, the concept of customer relationship management. Unpacking this concept, understanding it, how does it fit into the organization, what does it mean and how do we define it? Let's have an in-depth look at these two concepts, the concept of customer and the concept of customer relationship management. Well, let's have a look at the word customer. What is a customer? Firstly, the definition on your screen there says any person or entity who directly or indirectly sponsor the existence of a specific organization or business is a customer. Now, what this definition means is that where somebody is responsible for your existence via buying your products or your services, or paying tax money if you're a government institution, or sponsoring something, a project, if you're a non-profit organization, then these people are sponsoring your existence. Now, an easy test for this is if I take that customer away, or the person who you call a customer away, how much does it damage your business? The more damage it causes to your continual existence, the more you can call that person a customer. Therefore, we've got different customers. In an organization, for instance, your support services such as HR, IT, finance, legal services, their customer is all internal. If I take the rest of the organization away, they don't exist. Therefore, their customers are not on the outside, but on the inside of the organization. Many people ask me what's the difference between a client and a customer. Well, the most basic difference, apart from this just being semantic, is that a client is usually referred to a customer who has a one-on-one relationship with a professional person. In other words, if I'm a lawyer or an attorney and you come and see me, then I will be you will be my client, because it's a one-on-one relationship. But where a group of people service the business, then we usually call them customers or a customer. So a bank will have a customer, an accountant will have a client. A department store will have a customer, a doctor will have a client. That's the basic difference, but apart from that, it's really irrelevant what you call these people who sponsor your existence, as long as you know their value. It's also important to understand customers in relation to the other stakeholders of the organization. Any organization has various stakeholders. There's your customers, which we've defined and understand now. There's your suppliers, the people who give goods and services so that your organization can continue existence. There's your employees, the people who work for you, who give you energy. There's the shareholders who give you capital resources. They own the company and they make sure that this company stays healthy. And then there's your competitors, the people who do what you do and who compete with you in a specific industry. The interesting thing is that all these stakeholders is always somebody's customer. But these are the different stakeholders in your organization, and customers play part of this stakeholder package. Now, to fully understand the concept of customer and customer relations management, especially the relationship or the link between customer and customer relations management, one needs to understand the origin of this all and the relationship between transactional and relationship marketing. Transactional marketing is the traditional way of looking at customer relations. If you look at the model that you have in front of you on your screen, you would see that transactional marketing lies between competition, conflict, and independence and choice. This means this is very much a world of hunting. This is where we go out, we get our customers, we try and beat the competitors, we deliberately try and get better products or value propositions than they have. The customer is independent, has a choice, could go anywhere they like. We need to keep on phoning them and hunting them and making sure that they come back. Where if you look at relationship marketing, it's between mutual independence and mutual cooperation, which means that the customer becomes part of us and a relationship is developed. The customer is not outside your business. The customer is inside the business. The customer is not, we're not focused on the customer. The customer is part of us. We're driven by the customer. So you can see that there's been a large focus shift from hunting in terms of getting customers and competing with our competitors to farming. where we grow our customers and they become part of a system, an interdependent system where they need us as much as we need them. We're now ready to look at the concept of customer relationship management, or CRM as is commonly known. On the screen here you can see a definition that I've put there for you: the establishment, evolution and maintenance of relationships that will enhance the retention of customers with the ultimate aim of ensuring organizational survival. In other words, we need to keep customers. The word retention and organizational survival, these words are very important there. Retention means that the aim of customer relationship management is to keep our customers, and organizational survival implies that the only reason we want to keep them is so that the organization can survive. But the definition also tells us how we're going to do this. We're going to establish and evolve a relationship here, and that relationship will enhance the retention with the ultimate aim of ensuring survival. So through relationships and through making sure that the customer becomes part of us, that is how we're going to retain and keep this customer, and therefore ensure that we have continual sponsorship. Now, of course, the ultimate objective of customer relationship management is organizational survival. We need customers so that they can sponsor our existence. But of course, there's things that we want to do in order to ensure that these customers stay. Therefore, there's a number of internal objectives for customer relationship management. The first one would be to develop a relationship. The stronger the relationship, the harder it will be for your customer to leave. Think about it. We all join clubs. We join jogging clubs, we join dart clubs, pool clubs, we join reading clubs, poetry clubs. You don't need to go to a poetry club to read poetry. Why do you do that? Because it makes you feel part of a system. It gives you significance of a unit. Now, if you can do that in your business, if you can give that significance to people, and that's why brands sell so well, because brands create that significance. If you wear a certain shirt from, let's say, a Hugo Boss shirt, or your wife wears Jimmy Choo shoes, or you wear Jimmy Choo shoes, you know, these things give you a specific significance, and that's why we spend money on that. The second objective is assessment and analysis. We need to understand our customers. It's one thing to say that there's a good relationship, but what's the profitability attached to that relationships? Relationship doesn't mean that the customer is profitable. So we've got to analyze this, understand the customers, and know how we should spend our energy and time to grow this relationship. The third one is processing and internalization of customer feedback. Your customers will give you constant feedback. You will get complaints, you will get feedback, you will get emails, you would get evaluations. Use this. It's your most valuable form of growing the business. And please, forget about compliments. Nobody's going to compliment you. When you buy milk at the local grocery store and the milk is good, you don't go back and thank the manager for it. But God forbid, if that milk is sour, you would break down the place. You would throw a tantrum right there. You see, human beings are made to complain, so grow on the complaints. Don't worry about the compliments. They're far and few between, and be thankful if you get them. But they're not going to help you. They're not going to grow you. It's the complaints that will grow you. Then fourth, we have effective customer complaint resolution, which comes from the previous point. Once you get a complaint, resolve the complaint, but go beyond this. Resolving the complaint is not enough, because if you're just resolving the complaint, you're not telling me that this is not going to happen again. You not only have to solve the complaint for that customer, you've got to solve the problem for the whole organization. So although that customer's complaint has been sorted out, we need to internalize this learning so that the whole organization can grow from this. A good rule of thumb should be, when somebody makes a mistake and there's a complaint, you should reward that person because we're learning from it. But if that same person makes that mistake twice, fire him or fire her, because they're not learning. Now the last objective here, objective number 5, is the revision and evolution of customer value proposition. The value proposition is something I discuss in length in one of my other video clips. But here it's enough to say that when you sell something, you're not selling a product, you're not selling a service. You're making a value proposition. You're proposing a value. If you're a plumber and you come out and fix somebody's pipe, there's a value that you offer. Maybe you offer the value of fixing the pipe right now, but after that you're prepared to come out and service it, or you give a guarantee for 1 year. This is all part of your value proposition. I hope that this session has helped you to understand the concept of customer and customer relationship management and how they mold together.